Okay, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. We are jumping right into today's video. Why in the world did I pick up the C5 Corvette over everything else? Let's jump right into the video. So if you guys are new to my channel, what's up? My name is Jeffrey, and yeah, we do videos on this Corvette, my Jeep Wrangler, and my wife's Mustang GT. But I really was looking for something that was going to be another vehicle for the channel. That's going to be a project vehicle where I can go into it and like do a whole bunch of stuff to it and come outside the canyons like we are right now and have a blast and really just kind of dive into it and then kind of make it into eventually a track vehicle for the channel. With that being said, I was originally looking at actually like a lot of other vehicles. So my mindset was I was completely open to anything and everything. I first was thinking about getting something that's going to be a little bit more inexpensive, something that's going to be a little bit cheaper. Pre-COVID days, you can pick up like vehicles way cheaper than what you can now. Everything is just kind of out of whack. The car market is just kind of crazy, so keep that in mind. So my original idea was to try to pick up something that's going to be like $4,000, something like that. Mid-level car, something I can just have fun with. I wouldn't mind if I were to do work on it myself and kind of just dive into it. It wouldn't really matter that much. $4,000 now is not a lot of money to try to find a car. Literally, people are trying to sell like a 80s like Toyota for like, you know, $5,000. So I was just like, okay, cool. So my original mindset was try to find something that's going to be JDM. Obviously, you know, car guy, I always think JDM. Try looking at any older Eclipses, any DSMs, anything like that. Anything that was worth buying, they wanted like $8,000 up. I want to say I did see a Eclipse that I thought would have been cool. That one was like, I think he wanted like 11 or 12, something like that. It was in that range, and anything else was just going to be like just like your normal baseline, like not anything that was truly special. And I kind of was disappointed when I was looking at that kind of car market. So yeah, looked at all of those, even looking at a Miata like I had before. I had an NB Miata. Try to see if I can find another one. They're fun cars, they're great, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with. Any NB Miata that I found, they were priced like in like the $7,000–8,000 range, and I was just like, eh. When before you could find one for like $4,000, now they're like doubled, and like a lot of them weren't really, I would say they're not like great. A lot of the examples I found, they were just beat, and I was like, that's not the direction I want to go in. Even though I know that for the most part they're pretty stout, but for me, I was just like, I didn't want to retread old water and kind of do something I've already done before, especially if it's going to be that type of price range. So then I started looking at Euros. Never owned a Euro before, and I was interested in buying one. So, you know, I always wanted an Audi TT. So I was looking at even like the Mark 1 Audi TTs. I know that you can make power in those things. If you get a Quattro one, that would be pretty cool. And I found some at a pretty low price, but a lot of them had issues. If I tried to find a manual one, they were pretty much beat, and like the automatic ones, a lot of them, they were saying that automatic transmission was having issues with it. So I was like, okay, cool. Plus that was a little bit older, but I thought for myself, like that still would have been fine. I know you can do modifications to it, you can make it quick. It would have been fun. Even looking at some older Volkswagens. Never had a Volkswagen. I'm interested in like learning that whole community, but like, oh, they're coming back. Wow, they're definitely coming. There's more and more cars. I don't know if this is the same track of people that came earlier. It's a TRX coming down this road pretty fast, actually, too. I'm gonna back up. Good Lord. My man's hitting it. My man was in a TRX coming down this road. This is a tight road. If you guys don't know, this is a tight road out here. I thought the Corvette was going to be too much for this road. I mean, I was out here inside a TRX just hitting it hard. All right, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I know that Volkswagens, you can make them quick. They're fun cars, and like there's a big community around them. And I thought for myself, for YouTube purposes, that would be great. Honestly, my only thing is though, I only really like the way that the newer models looked. I think it's like the Mark 7, I want to say. I could be wrong. That's like the only real models that I just kind of like the way that they look. I know you can make the older ones look a little bit better, but for me personally, that's the only ones I really liked. They're priced in like the 10 grand mark, so they're like not cheap, but they're not really expensive. And I thought they were decent for what they are, and you can make a lot of power with them. I just really didn't find, I don't know, I just didn't really see myself in it for that price range, if that makes sense. And then I even tried looking at some older BMWs, which I thought that would have been cool. Get like an older 3 Series. Plenty of people take them, make them to track cars, fun cars. And I thought that was another step I could have taken. A lot of them though that I did see come up for sale, they were really beat, high mileage. I mean, I could have found a better example of it, but I just didn't really see anything that kind of stuck out to me. A lot of them were just like your baseline automatic, like nothing even like crazy at all, which I thought would have been great. You could have got like a 220i or something like that, or I should say a 320i, something like that, or 220. There's so many different variations of older BMWs and just BMWs in general. I thought about that. That would have been a cool option, but they were price range. They ranged. Which I think that still could have been a cool option. It's just the price ranges, they just range so much, and just trying to like dive into that whole, I don't know, platform and everything. It seemed like kind of a lot. So the reason why I started looking back at the American cars, which looked at even trying to find like an older Mustang GT, like I had an older New Edge V6 Mustang, and I was like, okay, cool. If I can find like an older New Edge that was a GT, that would be cool. I know you can do some modifications to them, make them, you know, pretty stout. You know, out of the box, they don't handle great, but you can do some modifications to them, make them pretty cool. And I thought that would be a cool little option to go with. Looking at the prices on those, but like I said, before in the past, you can find them for probably about 4 or 5 grand for like a nice one. Now they're definitely a lot more expensive. And trying to find one, the price range is just kind of like pushed up. Everything just pushed up. So for me, I was just like, well, what's the point of purchasing something that's going to be like, not, I want to say on the lower end, but like less expensive? Or you just go a little bit more money, you can get something a little bit better and get inside, you know, a whole nother class, I would say, of cars. Or just you just have another boost in performance. So that's what kind of led me leaning more towards the Corvettes. I originally was looking at a C4s. I really wanted a C4. Actually, my wife thought the C4 looked really cool, and so did I. You know, before in the past, you can get them for way cheaper than what they are now. But looking at some C4 Corvettes, the only way that I would have wanted one if it would have been the LT4 engine. And a lot of the ones I saw come up for sale, they were older, and they weren't really what I was looking for. Like the cheaper ones were like beat, and like the nice ones, they were inside C5 territory. Like they were, some of them were more expensive than some of the C5s. So I was just like, okay, that's, you know, at that point I was like, well, if I'm looking at a C4 and they're like in the range of a C5, I might as well just step up and get the C5 and at least get the LS1. Even if I don't get the Z06, get a normal LS1, you'll still get 350 horsepower. It's the LS engine, and the world is your oyster. So much things, so many, you know, so many options you can do with the LS. And this kind of led me more towards leaning towards getting the C5. Price range, like you can find them, I mean, beat ones on like Craigslist. I mean, honestly, I saw one that was like 9.5 grand, which is pretty good considering some of the other vehicles I saw were like 8 grand. You can get one, you know, 9.5 grand. I got this one, I think it was like 12. You can get them, you know, better, way low mileage ones for like way more money. But what I was looking for, something that was going to be well used, not abused, but well used, mostly stock, and that I can do stuff too. That's the reason why I found this one. This one, you know, had the black color, everything like that. It is what I wanted aesthetically, and as far as like the price versus value, it kind of matched up to what I was looking for. I was looking for something that was going to be fairly quick. You know, The other things I was looking at in this price range were honestly going to be an SRT8 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which I honestly love Jeeps. If you are a subscriber to my channel, you know I love Jeeps. Getting the first generation, the WK Jeeps, I love them so much. I would have loved to get a SRT8, but thinking about it more, it would have been too close to my actual daily, my Jeep Wrangler. And like I really couldn't come out here inside the canyons, even though we just saw a TRX come down here. So who knows, maybe I could have. That could have been cool if I would have lowered it, but that's not really what that car was meant to do. That's really more of a drag strip car. And for me, drag strip stuff isn't really all that interesting. That's just me personally. I honestly enjoy this type of driving way more than just straight line performance or just on the highway. So this is really, like, for me, the stuff that I like and I enjoy doing. So that kind of led that out of the direction. I looked at MR2. You know, you can get like the older ones, decent price, mid-engine. That would have been cool, but the horsepower versus weight, I was like, well, you know, I can find one of those cheaper, but this has better power to weight ratio. And even then, trying to look at even some older like Mustang GTs, like not the newest generation, but like trying to find one that had a Coyote in it, that would have been cool. But then I thought to myself, why would I do that when my wife has a literal Mustang GT with the Coyote? So I didn't want to kind of have repetitive content and like get another one that would have been basically the same. That didn't really make that much sense to me. So really, it kind of led me more towards the Corvette, the LS engine. I never experienced it. I used to have a Camaro RS, and I've never had the LS engine. So kind of just led me more and more towards like, yeah, honestly, like the best kind of in my application, the best bang for your buck kind of made sense. The Corvette, it's quick, can handle well, it looks good, and it has plenty of aftermarket support. Kind of everything I was looking for, and there was a big audience for it, for YouTube especially. So that's kind of what led me more towards getting the, you know, the Corvette. You know, my plans are to right now is to make it to a better daily, do updates to it and everything like that. The interior, make it a little bit better, but eventually turn it into a track vehicle. It's going to be 100% dedicated to tracking and canyon driving, but in the meantime, make it a nice daily-ish. I want to drive this a bit and just enjoy and kind of get the whole ownership experience of it, and then have some fun with it. You know, if I get bored of it eventually and I want to upgrade to something newer and better, maybe I can, or just keep this platform, keep this chassis, and just build this thing up continuously and just grow with it, you know, grow my skills with the vehicle, you know, performance as we do updates and everything like that. But yeah, guys, that's the reason why I got the C5 Corvette. If you want to check out this video over here, this is the video that's going to be the walk around video of this vehicle. If you want to check that out, check that out. Subscribe for more. We will see you on the next video. Let's go.